Hey, you made it. Hey, today we're doing a holiday duck, right? Because I know, people normally have hams, turkeys, for Christmas and the holidays. I want to show you there's another alternative. Now, I did do a duck recipe before, but it takes 4 or 5 days to do it. And I was asked if there was a simpler way to do it, and yes, there is. This is just a classic recipe for duck. It's roast duck. You're gonna enjoy it. Look at this. Duck, potatoes. Oh man, let me rotate that for you. Duck and potatoes, and the potatoes have been roasted in the duck fat. And if you watch my videos on this channel, I'm gonna show you how to do that. Stay tuned. Hey, this is Shrashira. That's the best elevator music I ever heard. Okay, so we have our duck here. We've washed it. We've taken the innards out. We're patting it dry. As you can see, I did save the neck, right? I'm going to be roasting the neck with it. And the gizzards. Got a couple gizzards here. Right? So we're going to save those because I'm going to be using those in a video here later on this evening. So get these patted up, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now what you want to do, you want to take a skewer or a fork, whatever you have handy, right? And you want to just poke the skin, right? Because ducks have a lot of fat under the skin. So you just want to poke the skin so that when you're roasting it, the oil has a way to escape. Right? Let's turn this guy over. Do the back side. Make sure you get under the arms there, under the wings. Definitely make sure you get around the little space between the butt and the thighs and legs. Like so. Some people actually take a knife and they cut that area. It helps speed up the cooking a little bit, slightly. And also gives the oil additional area to render. Okay, so that's good. And when you're poking this, you want to try not to poke so much the meat, just the skin and through the fat. Okay, so for our seasonings, we got about 2 teaspoons of pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of ginger, minced ginger, tablespoon of onion powder, tablespoon of paprika, and a tablespoon of garlic powder. Now, the garlic and the onion, I'm using not the powders, but the actual granulated version. I choose those. Well, but you can use the powders. Those are fine. Okay, and we're going to mix these in the bowl, and then we're going to rub our bird down. All right, in goes the ginger. That in there. Get our granulated goods in there, the onion and the garlic powder. Granulated onion, granulated garlic. Let's get our paprika in there, our salt, and our pepper. Okay? Get this all mixed up. Now, one of the main reasons I use ginger is not really so much of the flavor, but ginger will help eliminate that gamey smell or that gamey taste that most ducks have when you cook them. Okay, so that's why I use that. Just a little tip there for you. Okay, let's get this rubbed on the bird. All right, let's take this, spread it all around. Make sure you get some inside the cavity as well. All right, so get that in there. Definitely get it in the cavity. Rub it all around the inside of the cavity. Right? Turn this guy over. Sure we get the back. Rub it in nice. And now you don't have to use oil for this, okay? Because the duck is going to produce so much oil, it's going to be unbelievable. Because it's a real fatty bird. So you don't need to add oil in it. A lot of people like to add oil, but you really don't need to. Okay? Let's get this spread all over it. So yeah, so you don't need to add butter to this. No olive oil, no canola oil, no vegetable oil. It's not needed. Now, if you want to, sure, you could. Yeah. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Okay? This rubbed in good. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take an orange, we're going to cut an orange in half, and we're going to put that in the inside of the bird as well. All right, so now we have a large orange, I've cut into quarters, and we want to stuff it in the cavity. Now that's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to plump up the breast, which is, we want that, so make sure you push that in there. And then two, the aromatics is going to make it smell so good and give it that citrusy flavor as it cooks. Okay? So now what we're going to do, see how it's plumped up there? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees, and I'm going to put some aluminum foil on the wingtips and the legs, on the drumstick, the bony part. See, so doing it this way, you don't really have to truss it, right? Clearly you could truss it if you wanted to, but it's not a necessity. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this into a 400 degree oven for 20 minutes on the rung just under the center of the oven. Okay, so it's not going to start off at the center of the oven. So we're going to do it 400 degrees for 20 minutes, and then we're going to turn it over, drop the temperature down to 350, and we're going to let that cook for 45 minutes. All right, so let's get this in. All right, 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we're going to flip it over for 45 minutes at 350. All right, so the 20 minutes is up. I can smell it good there. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to turn this guy over. And we're going to reduce the heat. And do it for 45 minutes. So this goes back in. And we're actually going to raise the rack up one. So now it's in the center of the oven. And we're going to reduce it to 350 degrees, and we're going to let this go for 45 minutes. See you in 45. All right, let's take this guy out. It's been 45 minutes. And we're going to turn him over and put it back in for another 45. Now, after this next 45, we're going to check the temp on it and see if it's truly ready to go. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to take the duck out and get that fat. We want that. And we're going to harvest the neck and the gizzards too. Tip it so we can get those oils and juices out of the cavity. Okay. And we're gonna harvest these juices. You see this? Right in there. We want that. We want all of that. And we're gonna use that for our potatoes. Okay? Now I'm gonna put our screen back. And now we're gonna take our foil off of the wings and legs. Okay? And put this guy right back on here. And back in the oven this guy goes. All right, let's take the duck out and see what the temperature looks like. Okay, we have our thermopan. All right, that looks good. Let's try the leg and the thigh. There, we need a little more on the leg and the thigh. So I'm going to crank it up to 400 degrees. And we're going to give it about 15 minutes and we should be golden. All right, so we're going to take our duck out. Our holiday duck is done. Now it needs to rest. We're going to let it rest for about 15 minutes. Oh, look at this duck. Just a classic holiday duck. You know, it'll feed the family, keep everybody in good spirits. So let's plate this up. We have our duck, our roasted holiday duck. Yep, we have our roasted red potatoes that have been roasted in the duck fat. Delicious. You have to try this. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Put your comments down there, share it out. If you haven't subscribed, hey, subscribe, because there's a lot more coming. This is Shrashira, and I'm out.